Hi there, Lisa Starr with StarCast, back with another episode. We are on the road again. We Work Well is a hosted buyer event where industry suppliers invite buyers, and they have sort of a speed dating series of meetings over a 2 to 3 day period, but it's mixed in with networking opportunities. We do team building, education, exercise together, and you just really get to know each other. And we have some of the top buyers in the country from very prominent spas. So I always like to record an episode here and get a little bit of insight on what they're thinking and what they're seeing in their local markets. I hope you enjoy the episode. So now I'm with Ellen McGinnis, who I was so excited to see because it's been a few years since we've seen each other.
Couple.
Ellen and I have both been in the spa industry for a very long time, and Ellen has been the spa director at multiple iconic properties, and she is now at Canyon Ranch.
I am.
New position. What's your title?
I'm the director of spa.
Director of spa for multiple locations.
Just the Tucson.
Just the Tucson.
Okay. I'm here at We Work Well representing all of the Canyon Ranch locations. So taking back some great ideas for all of our different areas. Yeah, I'm very excited.
So Ellen, after many years in the industry, what do you see as how it may be different today? If you were a spa director entering the industry now, what would your decades ago self tell yourself today?
Oh, Lisa, that is a great question. Well, first of all, I think we're at a really exciting time today. And I think that the synergy between technology and education and just the innovation, and I would say that what's different in the industry now than probably when we started is that the mainstream, our guest, our consumer is a lot more knowledgeable.
For sure.
So I feel like we're in partnership with our guests, with our consumer, and we are collaborating with what type of experience they need or want to experience when they're with us, and how we're designing these programs that we can fulfill their ultimate goal and actually create that raving fan. So what I would say to myself is that just be open to evolving and be flexible and innovative. I mean, innovation is probably the nucleus of where we operate every single day.
It's a great point that you make. I mean, guests used to come to the spa 25 years ago. I mean, I can remember when we couldn't give massages away. Like, people didn't want to go in a room with a
They were
strange
nervous
person
about
and take their clothes off.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's few spas in the world where massage is not now the number one service. So we have definitely penetrated the psyche of the modern consumer, and COVID actually helped. I mean, people want to be healthy and they are seeking well-being, but they also don't want to be alone in a room with a provider for their entire afternoon. They want new experiences.
They do.
And that speaks to what you were saying, that we need to put our thinking hats on and look at how we can do things differently. Do you have any nuggets to share from what you've seen at Canyon Ranch so far? I know you're brand new, but what direction you see the spa sort of evolving into?
I am brand new at Canyon Ranch, but of course we all know about Canyon Ranch. It's legendary. And I think, the nucleus of the creation was creating a space where people could go and really reset. And I think that still is why people come there today.
Do you think they're looking for something more than the massages and facials of yesteryear? Are they looking for more shared experiences, or just maybe new bits of technology?
I think it's a mixture of both. And I think that people are coming there for all different types of reasons. They may come with a gal pal or a daughter, mother. They may come there because they've had a life event that they need to reset or recuperate from or heal from, which is, lovely that we can provide that. But the other thing is that we have a longevity program. I was just talking about this with someone else. And this is an area where, yes, you can get away and you can have a complete medical workup by medical professionals, and it can be personalized and customized and walk away with something that you can carry on into your everyday life. But also coupled with that, you have beautiful scenery, outdoor hikes, beautiful surroundings, healthy food, good interaction, activities. You can make connections with other guests and just really create a memory. And then along with that, you can still do the traditional spa relaxation type of massage, or you can experience innovation and technology with some type of a medical device for facial or a body treatment. So you can get a little bit of everything and really personalize that experience for yourself.
Well, we do expect to see that from Canyon Ranch, that you've got the gamut covered of experiences. But you're right. The point you make about the guest wants to take something home with them is really important.
They do. I mean, that's why they're coming there. And I think also the nice thing about having a collection is we are longevity. Our newest location will be, which is very important in our industry right now, is it's going to be geared towards women and women's health and women's specific needs, whether it's you're just having children or you're perimenopausal or menopausal, or you're entering how do I navigate through age
management.
Age management. I love that. I'll accept that.
Well, we'll look forward to hearing more of what you start at Canyon Ranch. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Lisa. It's great to spend time with you.
You too. So now I'm with Nikki Miller from Kohler Water Spa. Nikki is the spa director of it all. How many units does Kohler have now?
So technically we have 6. We've got hotel resort locations, 2 of them in Wisconsin, 1 in Green Bay, 1 in Kohler, which is where our headquarters is, celebrated 25 years last year. We have 2 day spas in the Chicago region. So we've got 1 day spa, our most recent one, built in 2019, which resides in Lincoln Park. And then we've got 1 in Burr Ridge, which is on a suburb. We have our remote location, which is in Scotland. And then we do have a branded Kohler Water Spa in our private membership club called Riverbend. So we do manage and operate that location as well. So technically we say 6 locations.
That's a lot.
And that is a lot.
Nikki, how did you get started with Kohler and in the industry?
Yeah, so I started working for the company when I was 15 in a retail capacity. I was one of the retail attendants that would go around and sticker product and, deliver to the stores. When I was 18, I went to school to be an esthetician. I still practice today and have several certifications. I continue my education. Anytime there's a new certification or a modality, I continue to keep myself educated so I can be relevant in the industry. As you know, it's ever changing. And so I just think you're never done learning. And I love to continue to learn new modalities, learn new techniques. It keeps me on the cutting edge of what the new innovative treatments are. So we can stay innovative too for our guests. And then I've been the director since 2019 and I've, worked for the company for 30 years now. And I absolutely wake up every day loving my job.
Kohler water's in her veins.
Yeah.
That's a great story. So you started in retail. What made you decide you wanted to go to aesthetic school?
Well, this was in 1996, 1997, and the spa industry was just starting to evolve. I grew up in a traditional, family expectation that you were going to go to college and you were going to get a degree. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I didn't probably have the push from my parents to go to college. I was going to do it because that was what everyone was kind of doing. And I actually worked with a girl who was at the retail store that I was at, was also an esthetician. And she said, "Oh, you should go to school to be an esthetician." And I was like, I said, first I was like, "What's that?" And then I was like, I am not working in a salon, because I just assumed it was in a salon and there's drama in a salon and I'm not good with drama. So I was like, I am not doing that. And she said, "No, Nikki, it has so many different avenues that you can go down. You could be a plastic surgeon assistant, dermatology assistant." So I thought, I'm going to give it a try. It's something for me to do. So I did. And that, 97, 96, 97 is really when the spa industry was really starting to evolve and get bigger. And at our resort particularly, we were at the breaking point of growing pains. And that year was the year that our director, Jean Kolb, which everyone knows, was in the process of building our new spa. And so, and in my area, it's a small pool of talent. So it was like, can you stay and can you work with us? And that's what you did, right? And so that was kind of how I entered the industry.
So Kohler has had that property how long?
We opened in December of 2000. So the mothership is 25 years old, going on 26 this year. Yeah.
So we know Kohler for, bathroom fixtures, but now kind of infiltrating the spa industry. You've made a few acquisitions over the last few years. You've opened new properties. Could you talk a little bit about what you've done and why?
Yeah, I think what sets us apart and our, point of differentiation is our partnership with corporate plumbing. So we have the ability to work with the engineers and the plumbing organization to develop and build new experiences. Our belief and our motto and our spa mantra is really the healing power of water, right? We've been in the water industry for over 150 years. So I think we're seen as the experts in experiential water, modalities. And so being able to partner with them and having this cohesion between hospitality and a global corporate plumbing organization is just a beautiful pairing that, I don't know of another organization that has that ability. And so we work really well with the corporate wellness side of the team, as well as the engineers to create new bathing experiences, new shower experiences. They come to us because, we're seeing 4,000 people a month getting feedback from the guests. What feels good? What would they like to see different? We're having conversations with them on how to go home and create these experiences in their own bathrooms, which then they're going to Kohler to, amenitize their bathrooms with. So we can then put these rituals together for them through the spa and say, here are the things that you would want to take home to continue this experience until you can come back and see us again. And I just think, what a beautiful story.
No, it is. It's perfect when you think about it. At first glance, you think, what's the fit? But of course, your business is water. And so it is in the spa. If we look at the traditional foundation as said to be of the word spa, solus per aquam,
Yes.
health through water, what better than a water company?
Exactly.
Now you took over Clofts, the sauna company. Has that been about 2 years?
Yes.
And what was behind that?
I think anytime Kohler takes on an acquisition, it's to better our portfolio. And I think anything we take on, we want the best of the best. And Cloth's brand is really the elite brand in sauna experiences. And so it made sense for us to acquire a sauna business to go along with our wellness portfolio as we're continuing to grow our wellness portfolio and really put ourselves on the map as a wellness destination. That region and that acquisition from that region just helps us build that name bigger. And then people will recognize, parts of the portfolio that go, wow, we want to go to Kohler. They've got the best of the best. And so all of our spas are, putting cloth saunas in. So things are getting switched out now. And that's just how we'll continue to evolve the experiences within the spa. So we've used them for our snow room. We've used them for our saunas, our steam experiences. So it's not just been saunas either. It's steam, cold experiences as well.
The whole thermal bathing circuit.
Yeah, the contrast therapy.
So obviously Kohler as a company is bullish on that segment. I mean, this is a big investment and you only have 6 properties, not 5,000, right? It takes a while to scale that. So there must be a vision that this is a growth category you want to be in.
We do. And as you know, we lost our Mr. Kohler, our CEO, 2 years ago. And with our David and Nina as the new CEO and kind of overseeing hospitality, they were very passionate about looking at our current assets and getting them to where we felt was at a level that, was to date. And so we've spent a lot of time the last 2 years refreshing our current assets, building them up, and now ready to, kind of start to explore to say, what does that next location look like? And spa has also evolved. We've not opened a location since 2019, right? So we're almost going on 10 years. And the concept of spa, what our guests are asking for, what communities are asking for, looks a little different from 10 years ago. So our new build as we go out to find the next perfect location and business model looks a little different than it did 10 years ago. And so we're really excited to see what that looks like. And certainly we're not far behind in looking for another location. So
are you thinking as the company expands more about the destination spa like you have at the mothership or the day spa spa model you've been testing in the Chicago market. Tell me a little bit about how they differ for you and what's good about each model.
Yeah, I think when our concept previously had been, especially with the Chicago spas, we're feeders to the resort, right? So we have these plantations of spas that then feed, and we really hit the Chicago market pretty hard. So 70% of our clientele typically comes out of the Chicago or Drive region, right? And so to have those locations down in that Chicago area with that big of an audience, it made sense to kind of put them there. And it's worked really well for us. And we in return from the resort have been able to feed the Chicago spas saying, oh, if you really like us here, you can now experience our spaces in the Chicago area. And so the next location, I don't think we've fully decided on what that's going to look like, whether that'll be attached to a hotel or if it'll be more of a day spa model. I would say, we do really well in the day spa, kind of a day spa bathhouse type situation. So I would suspect that's the route we'll go versus having a lodging component.
Well, as a consultant, I can say that everyone wants to open a bathhouse now. It's all about contrast therapy. It appeals to young people. It's social.
Yes.
The staffing is different. Of course, it's capital intensive to start, but has its rewards later. And it is easier than a hub and spoke model, like for you to put a new destination resort somewhere else and then have it surrounded by smaller spas. But it's great to hear that they feed each other.
Yes, they do.
So tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in the near future, Nikki, in the spa market. What makes you bullish on what you are hearing from guests?
I think the common theme that I have personally experienced, and that is from my time in our hot yoga studio, it's from my time our fitness club, and then just speaking with the guests that are coming in and out of not only our day spa, but also at our resort spa, is this sense of community. And the one thing that I love about, Kohler and the location of Kohler specifically, we come from a resort space of 2,000 residents. And so when you come to the resort and you attend one of our yoga classes, our residents take you in like you're one of them, right? And there's this sense of loneliness that still is continuing on in our communities. And we've got generations of people who they're not completely confident with social activity yet. It's up to us to help them get there. And so I keep saying we can build all these community centers and we can build all these community activities. But if we aren't getting them to come with us and we're not making them feel welcome when they come in the doors, it's just an empty space for them, right? And if they don't have a really great experience when they get there, they're not going to come back. So in order to get people to be social and to feel welcomed and to feel a sense of belonging, it comes from the community within that makes people feel welcome. I travel singly primarily, and I'm not afraid to make new friends. So that part is easy for me. But when I look around and I see others who might be grieving in a certain way and their social awareness is maybe a little lower than some others, I can feel and sense I don't feel like I belong here. This is uncomfortable for me. But as soon as you start to say, hey, finish that last rep, or hey, come to our coffee shop afterwards, or hey, we're all going to the cold plunge, come with us. All of a sudden they just, they light up. So I think where we and where the industry is going, it's creating more community events. It's how do we get people to come as one in the space and creating programming that allows for this social interaction, not just putting 10 people in a room and saying, figure it out.
Well said. I think it's very true that we're morphing from this one-on-one model of, one guest and one treatment provider in a room with the door shut into something more social. So it really sounds like Kohler's really leading the way.
You got this.
Well, thank you for joining us, Nikki Miller.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing what other creations come from Kohler.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for the time.
I'm here with Susie Hammer, who's going to give us her title because it's too long for me to remember in the moment. Welcome, Susie, and thank you for joining us at StarCast.
Thank you, Lisa. Yes, my title is Senior Vice President of Spa Operations and Client Success at Arch Amenities Group.
And that's a lot. It's a big job. For those of you who have been around for a while, Susie worked at WTS, which became Arch Amenities. How many properties are you overseeing currently?
Currently, we have 55 spas that we manage within the U.S. And then we have about a dozen that we provide consulting services for.
Okay. And they're all over the US. They're not regionally.
Mm-mm.
You've been doing this a long time, in the WTS and the Arch model. How has the business evolved in your mind in the last 5 years? Let's say since COVID, what differences have you seen?
Wow. Since COVID, we have found that hotels really don't want their spas anymore. They don't want the responsibility, the risk associated with their.
They want to have them.
Right. They want
you to run them.
But they want somebody else to run them so they don't have the liability associated with them. And what's interesting to us, we are a pure management company, but more and more hotels want to just lease the space, really be kind of hands off entirely. So that's a new turn since COVID that they're looking for.
What's about the liability? I mean,
it hasn't changed since
no,
COVID, right?
It's not dangerous to come in the spa.
They just really don't, they're experts at putting heads on beds. They don't know spa. And I think spa is still kind of a little foreign to them. And they haven't learned. And they really want someone else to take care of it for them.
And they have an expert, so why not? Why not have you do it? So what creates day-to-day challenges for you, Susie, overseeing so many properties across a huge geographic segment?
We have a wide variety of spas that we manage. We have from 2 treatment rooms to 24 treatment rooms. We have 3-star properties to 5-star properties. And so every property thinks that they're the most important in the portfolio, right? So for me, it's managing those expectations. The client for me is the hotel that has engaged with us. And having that 2 treatment room spa sometimes takes more time and effort than the 24 treatment room spa.
We can imagine you have the same with clients.
Yeah, exactly.
That comes in once a year for one thing and makes such a fuss.
Absolutely.
So you have a regional network of people who oversee smaller groups, I assume?
Yes. So I have 7 regional directors based across the country. So I have somebody on the West Coast, somebody in Florida, New York, et cetera. And they oversee about 8 to 10 spas for me.
And how often do you meet? What does it look like to be efficient at running something so big? Tell us a little bit about what's involved.
Sure. So again, that's changed since COVID. So previously, I would meet with my regionals on a quarterly basis in person. I meet with them weekly, virtually, but it would be quarterly in person. And that would be in their region with all of their managers. So I was touching each property at least on a quarterly basis. Now that's probably, I'm lucky if it's once a year that we're all getting together and having that touch point. But virtually, we communicate much more regularly. I have all of the locations. I host a webinar training once a month with all of our locations. But then with our regionals, I'm talking to them on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm. Do you miss the on-site visits? Do you think we lose something with the virtual approach?
Yes and no. I personally miss it because I miss the people, right? And I miss interacting. We're all in this business because of people. So I miss that aspect of it. But from a business standpoint, my business hasn't changed. We have learned how to be as effective virtually as if we were in person or not.
Well, we all did have to learn that those first days of Zoom, but we've got it down. And, the tools have evolved like Slack and
exactly
the different tools. And not only have the tools evolved, but the people using them have learned how to use them better. So we've gotten better at that. So what are you seeing on the horizon, Susie, in terms of as you're renovating or opening new properties, what are you looking to do that might be a little different than the traditional model?
Everybody's into touchless right now. And I think we've kind of seen a little bit of evolution, especially now with Ascape and the change that happened with Ascape, right? Maybe it wasn't the shiny solution that we all thought it was. I still think there's a place for touchless. And I think it's brought spa to a different market, perhaps that group business we've all been trying for, right? So I think touchless, and now we're calling it all recovery, right? That's what we've all changed from touchless to recovery. I think that's important. To me, what we're focusing on learning how to integrate is AI, and what is the place of AI in the spa world. And that's tricky, right? Those of us who've been around like you and I forever, we're like, no. But I think there is a place, and you start with the reservation process, right? And that's an easy kind of toe into AI, but I think that we're going to see that really grow. I'm working with our marketing team now. We do an audit of all the marketing touch points on property. And now we feed that audit into AI, and AI can say, okay, here's what you should be doing.
Interesting.
Here's what you're missing. So I think it's just being creative how we use it. So that's where we're focused on.
Yeah, I think it's a really good tool to refine thoughts or come up with suggestions or approaches or frameworks. But we are in the touch business. As you said, we have to keep touching people. And escape as a great augment, for massage, not to replace a human massage. And there are other devices. We'll see what happens with that. But you're right. I mean, AI doesn't really have a place in the treatment room yet, but it certainly has the place in running a business.
Absolutely.
And streamlining the way you look at financials or the way you, as I said, frame something. But we all have to learn how to work with it. It's different for us, right? We're of an age where we didn't grow up with that. You hand these devices to a 20-year-old and they right away know what to do. And it's like, okay, we're a little slower. We take a little longer, but we're trying.
And I think it'll come in the treatment rooms for facials first. I think that it will help with skin analysis. I think we're there, right? There are companies doing that now. So I think that's going to be the first true entry into the treatment room.
No, that's a good point. There are already devices that can do, like the Vizia, right? Amazing skin analysis. So this is your first visit to We Work Well, right? Your first time here?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. And how have you found it?
It's great. I like how it's personalized. It's not huge. I think the personalization is nice. The extra opportunity to network with suppliers and buyers is beneficial. And for me, I kind of look at both groups, right? Like I'm interested in suppliers, but I run a spa company, so I'm also interested in spa directors. So it's nice for me to have that opportunity to kind of do both of those.
To meet more people.
Yeah.
Do you see any changes at Arch in terms of the whole contrast therapy, hydrothermal circuit? I'd imagine some of your properties already have that and some don't. And it's not a small thing to put in. So how do you respond to that as a management company?
Sure. When you have a new build, it's easy, right? You put it in, and we are seeing more and more of that in our new builds. It's really hard to retrofit. I would say that we're not recommending thermal in a retrofit or a renovation. It's more, again, focused on that recovery.
Yeah. So how do we give guests options for those things that they're looking for?
You know what, Lisa, it's interesting to me. I don't think the consumer really knows what they're looking for. Right? There are some discerning spa goers who know what they're looking for, but I think most spa goers hear a buzzword and think that's what they want. So I think it's our job, and it starts on the phone with reservations or front desk, to really help that guest identify what it really is that they're looking for. Like, what are you trying to accomplish today? How do you want to feel when you leave here? And the solution may not be what they were expecting. And that's our job to be able to do that.
Well said, Susie. I mean, we can always provide some measure of relaxation, recovery, work on a specific issue, tension release, stress relief. It may not be through the method they were looking for. So does Arch plan to continue growing? Like, what's your overall business strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So Arch now, we have a spa division and we have a fitness division that makes up our wellness division. Spa is the fastest growing there. We kind of morphed from WTS days where it was a little more mom and pop, where we had a one-off Kimpton hotel and a one Hilton and kind of a whole bunch. Now, I think as we evolve, we're looking more at portfolio partners. So we're the provider of choice for Trump hotels, for Lowe's hotels, for Davidson hotels. So that's really where we're looking to grow, is within the portfolios.
That's got to be helpful as a management company.
Absolutely.
I mean, you learn one way,
Right.
And so you don't have 50 properties with 50 methods of doing it, because you are so transparent in the sense that a guest doesn't know there's an Arch involved. They book at the spa, they have a treatment, they don't realize the hotel is not running the property. Is there a lot of training involved to make that happen?
Absolutely. So we've always prided ourselves on, I would say, being white label. We assume the identity of the property that we go into. So we have to train on luxury guest service and our SOPs and things like that. But on top of that, we have to, the brand standards, the hotel. And then if you throw in a branded spa, if you have a brand partner, you have to learn those as well. So it's kind of double the amount of training that you have to do. And the employees, it's an interesting line for the employees because we're not there with them on a day-to-day basis, right? So they have a daily relationship with our hotel partners, and our relationship is more virtual. So it's a challenge for employees too.
Well, you've been successful for so long. What do you attribute that to?
I think because we genuinely care about our employees and we make an effort to communicate with them and to be transparent with anything that's happening within the company. And we're unique because we provide a career path for somebody in spa. There's still not a lot of companies that provide a career path. I started as a personal trainer and look where I am now. And all of my regionals started with me as being a spa director and have moved up. And there's not a lot of companies out there that you can do that. So a provider, whether it's on fitness like I was or a massage therapist, at some point in time, they may want to move to a different position and they always think it's management, right? And so we can provide a training path for them to move into something else in their career. So I think that's why employees have stayed with us.
Well, it's an excellent model as a testament to how long you've been around and your continued growth. So it's great to see you and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa.
So I'm here with Cassandra Stratton, the Director of Spa Services and Education at Mario Tricoci Spas and Salons in Chicagoland area. How many locations are there now,
We have
Cassandra?
13 locations.
And how many people work in them?
Total company-wide, probably around 1,100, I believe, behind the scenes, desk, everything. So
It's a lot of people.
yeah, we continue to grow. Yeah.
So is this your first time at We Work Well?
It is my first. Yes. This is
So
my first.
how has it been for you?
It's been great. It's fun. It's networking and business and all in one. You can't not enjoy a full day. So
Now,
keeps us busy.
Cassandra, you were a massage therapist, correct?
Correct.
Are you also an esthetician?
No.
No, massage therapist.
Still licensed.
And you have been at Mario Tricoci a long time.
Yeah, this will be my 26th year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of growth in the industry.
Yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of fun changes. I mean, I was focused on massage for so long and then venturing into the nail and aesthetic world is just an eye opener. So it's, it's been great. So a lot of changes.
Tricoci began as a hair brand, right? And then a full service spa with the spa services. Do you still see a big demand from clients for the spa side of the business?
Yeah, we are continuing to grow. We continue to hire. We have a full training program that fills our staffing needs at least once a quarter.
Wow, that's really good to hear. So what are you bullish on in the near future in the spa side? What are you excited about?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, the wellness category, that therapeutic category, med spa. We just opened our first med spa in November and we will continue to open. We're looking at 4 more this year. So that medical, therapeutic wellness is going to grow. It's going to continue to grow.
So you're seeing the lines blur as well between salon, beauty side, the spa side, and now the medical.
Yeah, that journey for the client, we are able to take them from that first initial spa experience or facial experience or their first massage and feel trusted and safe in our environment, and then continue their journey all the way to med spa and then come back to your esthetician that can maintain those results. So yeah, full circle.
It's exciting to see growth in an industry that, we kind of take it for granted. Beauty's been around forever, but we are definitely seeing modernization and new wrinkles. What is your most popular service in the spa for Mario Tricoci?
Your massage is going to be, that's a popular one, but we are seeing that maintenance facial as well, that skincare routine that constantly needs that cleanse, that deep cleanse, and then that skin analysis from a professional that can give them what's next for them, right? What do they need? Skin changes with the seasons as well. So each time they come in could be a little bit different.
Are you looking here at We Work Well for new products, equipment, ideas?
Always. We strive to be a year in advance. So I may not need something right this moment, but holiday, we're looking at 2027 already for what's new, what the brands are bringing in. That's an important part for my position.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us here, Cassandra Stratton. It was great to see you as always.
You too.
And enjoy the event.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to StarCast this week to hear from our various spa leaders on the state of their business and the spa industry in North America. This was recorded live at We Work Well Spa in Coconut Point, Florida. Thanks again for listening to StarCast, and please tune in next week to hear my report from the Aufgusssauna U.S. Championships. I'm Lisa Starr. Thanks for listening.